Hello and welcome to the final week 6 of the Halliburton Sports 6-week workout series. I'm Lindsay Lucina, owner and lead teacher of Red Lila Yoga Teacher Training School. And I'll be your yoga teacher for the next 25 minutes here in the beautiful Sanctuary Bodyworks that's located in downtown Baltimore, where I hold my yoga teacher trainings, I teach group classes here and private yoga sessions. And since you clicked on this video looking to work out, then let's start. And if you have a belt or a towel, or better yet, a yoga strap, then go ahead and grab one. And I'll be guiding you through a yoga flow that is both invigorating and restorative, since you've been working hard on all those New Year's resolutions. So let's begin. Turn onto your yoga mat so that you come onto all fours to your hands and knees. This is called a tabletop. And then you're gonna lift your right arm up to the ceiling for a twist, look up to the sky, and then thread your arm underneath. This is called threading the needle, a really nice restorative stretch of your shoulder and a gentle twist of your spine. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling, take a nice big inhale here, get your breath flowing with a nice big exhale. And then draw your front palm back to help push you up. Reverse the order, take a big breath, look up to the sky, stretch one more time, and then release. Place your palm back down onto the mat. Take your left palm up to the ceiling. Let's switch to the other side. Take a big breath and then thread the needle. Take your arm underneath, reaching out, and then extend your other arm straight. And then remember to take a big breath. The thing about yoga that makes it different than other types of workouts is certainly your breathing and your connection to your breath. Take your right hand back and then push yourself into that twist one more time to complete the cycle. Deep breath. And then release, come back to your tabletop. Okay. Next is down dog. Curl your toes under. This is the quintessential pose in yoga, so you may have seen it or done it. Walk your hands a little bit more forward. Start to lift your hips high to the sky and press your body weight back to your legs. Now for you runners who are out there, your hamstrings might be a little bit tight and this might be hard and you might start to shake. If that's the case, just bend your knees a little bit to take the tension off of the backs of your legs. Good. And then take a nice big inhale here. Every pose, we take a nice big breath to get our body and our mind into the posture. Good. And then make your arms straight. Let your head kind of hang at this awesome neutral position. Just starting to unlock tension from your body, both your legs, your shoulders, your back. And then look forward to your hands and take a couple of baby steps, no rush, to the front of your yoga mat. Take your feet about 6 inches apart, and this is the time to first grab your strap or your block or your towel. And then you're gonna come all the way up to standing, bending your knees to take your time. Grab your strap. I'm gonna turn and face you. Grab your strap so it's about shoulder width apart. I'm going to change it so I don't have as much hanging off the left and right. And then if you want to, you can always widen your arms too so that this is easier. You're going to lift your arms straight up overhead. Take a nice big inhale. And then start to lean over to your right as you exhale. We're going to stretch and open up all the side body muscles here of your spine and your torso. And if it's pretty easy, then walk your hands closer as you reach up into the side and look up to the ceiling. That'll create a little bit deeper stretch. And then go straight up. Breathe in, and then other side. So the thing about our yoga practice is that it's great for runners and tennis players, especially because we work on creating balance with the asymmetries of the body. We work on both the left and the right side, especially for tennis, which is so much of a one-sided sport. So go ahead and reach up to the sky. I'm just gonna turn, you stay facing the front of your mat, and then do a little bit of a back bend as you look up. Take a nice big inhale and draw your upper arm bones back. And then gently forward, fold, drop your strap all the way down. Nice. Bring your big toes to touch and do a halfway lift. You can have your fingertips to the mat, or if your hamstrings are feeling nice and tight, then lift your hands to your shins and even bend your knees a little bit. You wanna focus on creating a nice long back in your lower spine. Take a big breath, breathe in, and then step your feet back into a high plank pose. Like you're about to do a push-up. So you make your arms straight, you pull your belly in and up, so try not to have a sagging belly or sagging torso. Take a nice big inhale breath. Drop your knees to modify this, but you're gonna lower into chaturanga, which is a yoga push-up. And then point all 10 toes straight back. Lift your heart, draw your arm bones back for a nice opening of your spine. This is upward facing dog. Take a big breath, breathe in. And then downward facing dog, press all the way back. And remember to modify by bending both of your knees if your hammies are feeling kind of tight today, especially if you just went through a nice big run or a workout. Now bring your feet to touch and lift your right leg high up to the sky. And talking about your hamstrings, you might feel even more pressure in your hamstrings here. So press your left heel down to the mat. Take a nice deep breath in with me. Exhale, you're gonna look to your hands and take the biggest step that you can possibly take. And if your foot didn't end up at the front of your mat and ended here, you just do a couple of extra steps to try to get it there. Drop your back knee to the mat. Let's go to another twist. So take your left hand to the floor, draw your right arm up to the ceiling, and really reach open from arm to arm. With our yoga practice, we're looking to create expansion. We're looking to create openness, especially within our sport when we do things that kind of create tension and lock the muscles of our body. Drop your hands back down to the mat. I'll make your back leg straight and press your thigh bone up to the ceiling. And get light on your fingertips. Use your belly, use your core. This is the invigorating part of the practice. You're gonna come up into a high crescent lunge. Take a deep breath in, and as much as you can, sink your hips down. That'll help to stretch the inner parts of your legs and your hips. Take a full breath, breathe in. And now we're gonna take another twist. Hands at prayer. This is a crescent lunge prayer twist. Hook your elbow over your thigh. Modification is to drop your back knee down and then start to look up towards the ceiling. But if you notice that you start to fall and get off balance, then look down to the ground. Where your eyes go has a big effect on your balance and your vestibular system. Come on back up to your lunge, and right now your right thigh is probably burning just a little bit, but take a deep inhale into that sensation. Exhale, straighten your front leg. We're gonna come into a warrior two. So align your front heel to your back heel. Bend your front knee nice and low, and then reach out arm to arm in your warrior. Virabhadrasana 2 is a Sanskrit name for yoga, for this yoga pose. Vira means hero, so really embodying that hero spirit. And turn your right palm up to the front and reverse your warrior back with a nice big side body stretch. Look up towards your top hand and take a deep inhale. Good. On your exhale, drop your hands. Step back to downward dog. And I hope you're feeling accomplished with doing that series on your right side, but the funny thing about yoga is that we also have a left too, so let's repeat that by bringing your feet to touch. Inhale your left leg high up to the ceiling again, and take a moment to draw your right heel down to the ground, opening up the muscles along the back of your leg. Look forward to your hands. Take that big step, place your foot in between your hands to the mat, and drop your back knee. That always feels nice. Draw your right hand inside of your foot and gently start to twist, and take your time so that you can focus on keeping your front knee straight forward instead of letting it fall out. So hug your knee into your center line. Inhale to lengthen up, lengthen through your spine and reach from arm to arm, reaching for those expansion, for those resolutions, for creating something new and possibilities within your body, your mind, and your life. Drop your hands back down. Make your back leg straight again, strong and grounded through your front foot. Gently lift up using your low belly, using your focus, your attention. Lift your arms. And speaking of attention, in yoga we have a very important part of our practice called our drishti, which is your gaze. So bring your hands to your chest center and hook your right elbow over your thigh, just like we did before, and then make your back leg straight. We always remember about the foundation. And then start to look up if you want. Otherwise, remember to look straight down. Where you look is definitely going to make a difference on how it challenges your balance. Keep this shape in your lower body. Challenge yourself just for 2 deep breaths. And I know that you can do many things in 2 breaths, and I know that you can do this too. So take one big inhale breath, and then straighten your legs. Take a little break off your front thigh. Open up to Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, the pose of the warrior, the pose of the hero. So being bold as you reach out arm to arm, as you sink into your hips, into your legs. Turn your left palm up and reverse your warrior back and reach. Keep your front knee low as you take your left hand up and back and stay grounded through your back foot through all 4 corners of both feet. And then exhale, drop your hands down to the mat, step back into downward dog, which is almost like our home base in our yoga practice. So bend your knees again to modify. Take a nice big inhale breath. And a little sigh, just let any kind of tension go that might be building up. High plank pose, breathe in. And then I'm about to tell you the best thing that you'll ever hear in a yoga practice, and that's gonna be drop your knees and lower all the way to the mat. Good. Then bring your arms right out in front of you to a Sphinx pose. So especially as athletes, what happens for us when we start to work out is eventually we get tired. One of the first things to go is our back muscles, and we start to round and droop, especially when we run for a long period of time. So by pressing your forearms down, lifting your chest up, it's gonna strengthen the muscles of your back to improve your posture as you have those long and arduous workouts. Take your right forearm to the front of your yoga mat and take your left hand back, grab your ankle. Now, if your ankle's really hard to grab, loop your strap around your foot and hold it with your strap. Press into your forearm and lift up through your chest and pull or press your heel closer to your glute. Try to keep your left hip down to the mat also. And if you're feeling pretty flexible here, then lift your elbow, point your fingers down, and keep pressing, 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 and breathe for that quad stretch. Usually we stretch our quads while we're standing before we go for a run or our tennis workout, but in this case, it'll be helpful to do it on our belly and isolate the muscle. Good, and then release, drop back, and then switch. Left forearm to the front of the mat. Go ahead and lift up to grab the ankle, but then once you have the ankle, turn your right hip straight down to the mat, and then pull in. Lift your elbow up, angle your fingertips down if you're comfortable with that, and press, press, press. Otherwise, just keep holding on to your ankle and reward yourself for doing that. Take a nice big inhale, lift your heart, full breath, and release, lower down. Just take a moment to drop your head to your arms. Take a deep breath after all that movement that we've already done. And then bring your hands down next to you so that your palms are on the mat. Curl your toes under, and then you're gonna lift your knees off the mat by contracting your quadriceps. And then in one motion, you're gonna push up to a high plank. So try not to lift your chest and then lift your hips. Try to do it in one plane. So take a nice big inhale, exhale, push the floor away from you and push up high plank. Good. Downward facing dog, back to our home base. Take a nice deep inhale breath. Exhale out. Look to your hands, bend your knees, and take a big step all the way to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Forward fold. And take your feet 6 inches apart. Grab on to your big toes. And then do a halfway lift again while holding your big toes. And feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to get down there. And then forward fold, drop your chest, drop your head. You can even give your head a little shake, yes and no, just to ensure that it's relaxed and at center. And then if you feel comfortable here, you start to straighten your legs up, roll your shoulders away from your ears, and breathe. Out of all the yoga asanas, forward folds are usually the ones that are the more calming and more centering as we fold our upper body to our lower body. Kind of takes out any external forms of stimulus and just lets us be for a moment with ourselves and with our breath. And drop your hands, bring your feet to touch again. Bend your knees to help roll you up into standing. Take your time. Good, and then lift your arms high up overhead as I fix the back of my mic that I just hit off my pants. And take a nice big inhale breath. And bring your hands at chest center. Okay, next pose is dancer's pose. It's gonna work on what we did in our Sphinx by grabbing our ankle. So you're gonna take your right hand down, and I'm gonna turn to face you. Your right hand's open like you're gonna carry a tray. You're gonna keep it there as you reach, and grab your inner ankle of your right foot. Okay, inner ankle, left arm up, take a nice big inhale, and then press your chest forward. Awaken your back foot and your back leg so that you kick it up to the ceiling. Reach your left arm forward. Take a nice big inhale and breathe. And if you're balancing or you're falling everywhere along your mat, that's okay. You can always pause and come right back into the pose, big kick, and release. Exhale, other side. So remember to open your left hand like you're holding something, like it's a tray. Reach back, grab your inner ankle, draw your right arm up, take a nice full breath, breathe in, and then exhale, start to kick. And as you kick, make sure that your back knee is not going out, but that it's staying straight to the back of the room. And breathe. On these next two breaths, really get your biggest kick that you possibly can, and that reach forward to create that expansion in your body, unlocking all the tension that we create from all of our workouts. And release, good. So stay at the front of your mat. I'll turn and face you. We're gonna do one more standing pose, which is called tree. Take your right foot to your inner ankle, inner calf muscle, or up to your inner thigh. Press your foot to your leg and press your leg back to your foot, making center line action. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And interlace your fingers. This is going to be great for your shoulders. Press your palms up to the ceiling nice and high, and take a deep breath and reach. Now, for those of you who like a good challenge, which I know is most of you who are watching, you can look up to the ceiling and try to challenge your balance even more by looking up to where your fingertips are. Good. And then release. Come on down. One more time onto the other side. Lift your left leg up, inner ankle with your toes touching, inner calf, or all the way up to your inner thigh. Bring your hands at center, so we always remind ourselves to start from center. Interlace your fingers one last time and push your palms to the sky. And you can choose your drishti, your gaze going up or going straight forward, but regardless of where you look at one point, find one place for your eyes so that starts to turn your mind from distraction to direction. Take one more upward reach, take a big breath, inhale, and release. Come on down, exhale, good. The front of your mat, take a nice big breath, breathe in, and then forward fold, breathe out. We're gonna go to downward dog, halfway lift, breathe in, and then step straight back and breathe here. And go ahead and drop both of your knees down to the mat, and you're gonna stand up on your knees. We're going to camel pose, and to do that, this is a back bend. So we wanna keep our pelvis in line over the knees. Take your hands behind you to your low back, and you can either have your fingers up or turn them down if that feels better. So hug your elbows back, press your pelvis forward, press your chest up to the sky, and then take a deep breath. And then exhale, lean back. Good. Take a nice big inhale here. Big exhale. And then when you come up, pull your belly in to contract your core to help your spine as you lift back. Second time, you can either curl your toes under or keep your toes pointing straight back, because we're gonna reach our feet now. So if you feel like your heels are gonna be really far away for you to grab, then curl your toes under to grab your heels. Take a nice big breath, just starting as we did last time. Press your hips forward, lift your chest, tuck your tailbone down. Take a deep breath, and when you're at your fullest expression in this back bend, take your one hand to your ankle, other hand to your heel, and then press your hips forward and keep your head at neutral, or if you're comfortable with it, you can drop it all the way back. As you come up and out, you lift your belly, lift up to neutral, And sit back on your heels and take a big breath. Back bends are energizing and invigorating. And ground your hands back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet to touch, lift your right leg up nice and high and big, and we're gonna stretch our hips in half pigeon. So you're gonna take your right shin as parallel to the front of the mat as you can, and don't necessarily force it. And your right knee is gonna be a little bit outside of your right hip, just about that much. Walk your hands back, lift your heart, and turn your left hip forward, and that'll stretch your hip flexors and your psoas, which build up a lot of tension from running. Open your heart, take a big breath, and then exhale. If you want, you can go into this laying half pigeon pose, relaxing to the mat, dropping your forehead center, which is an act of surrender, of letting go, of mental and physical release. Take 3 deep breaths here into your body and out, using each breath to calm your center, to calm your mind, and give you a moment to relax. We work so hard so often, and it's also important to rest hard and to recover. Good. Walk your hands back, lift your chest, and then you're gonna fall onto your right hip and swing your leg all the way around in front of you for a double pigeon pose for 5 breaths. And I'm gonna turn and face you. Your right shin is still at the bottom, but make it exactly parallel to the front of the mat. Take your other leg and you're gonna hike it up and place it on your knee. Now, if your knee is really high to your chest and you can't even lean forward, that's okay. We'll work on getting your hips nice and loose. You would just put your foot in front of your knee. Okay? Lift your spine, take a big inhale. And then exhale, lean forward, press your hips back so you get that nice big stretch through the outside of your hips. Good. Take one more breath. Good. Finding that surrender element of our yoga practice, reminding ourselves there's a time for movement and hard work and also a time to restore. Downward dog. Lift your left leg high to the sky, breathe in. And then look forward, half pigeon pose on your left side with your left shin towards the front of your mat, left knee a little bit outside of your hip. And then you walk your hands back to open your heart, press your right hip forward to stretch your hip flexor muscles, including your psoas. And then exhale to surrender and to melt down. Awesome. Just dropping your forehead center to the floor, and you can even move your head a little bit left and right, like you're massaging your forehead center, getting that relaxation and that rest. But if your forehead doesn't touch, you can make a pillow with your arms. And then take one more deep breath, and on this exhale, breathe out like you're feeling your hips melt to the mat, unlocking that tension, creating space and openness and recovery for your body. Walk your hands back and then lean over to your left hip, swing your leg around. And once again, I'm gonna face you with your left shin exactly parallel to the front of your mat. Double pigeon, where you lift your leg up, you get that stretch within your glute, and then you place your knee right, or your ankle right on top of your knee. Or to modify, if you feel like you're too hiked up, then place your foot in front. Big inhale breath. Exhale to draw your chest down, press your hips back, and you can stay here, or for those of you who are feeling nice and flexible today within your hips, you can lower down. And I didn't always used to be able to lower down too. I too was an athlete. I was a lacrosse player in college with severely tight hips that I got a lot of treatment for, and with yoga it really helped me to open my body and recover. So lower all the way down to your back. Bring your arms out like a T, take a big inhale, and drop both of your legs out to the side for a gentle spinal twist to close, to bring release to your body, release to your mind. It's so important that we respect and honor both that mind-body connection. Drop your knees to the other side also. And as we know from athletes, our frame of mind and our mindset is so important to the improvement of our game and hitting those record times and that record score. And taking our time in yoga to align our mind and body as one. Okay. Bring your knees into your chest, take one more big squeeze, inhale. And then exhale into the most important part of your yoga practice, which is your Shavasana, your your pose of surrender and rest. So what you're gonna do is just let your arms drop, your legs drop, and I invite you to close your eyes and to relax your breath. And this is part of your practice where you could be in Shavasana for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes. And the purpose is to stay conscious and stay awake, yet to have a calm mind and a calm center within the process. Almost treating this like a meditation or that time before a big race or a big match where you get into the zone. So if you do have a pause button, most of you I'm sure, and if you'd like to put this on pause, you can do that and stay here for as long as you like. For those of you staying with me, take one more big breath. Inhale. Good, big exhale out. Roll over to one side of your body. Let your head relax and then gently press yourself up into a seated position. Any way that you'd like to sit. You can have your legs crossed or straight out in front of you or some other way. Take your arms up and overhead with a nice full inhale breath, that big, big reach, that expansion that you've gained through your whole yoga practice today. And then bring your hands at chest center. Good. Close your eyes and take this time to acknowledge yourself. Maybe it was your first time doing yoga ever or your 500th time. But regardless, we did it together and you did it. You took this time for yourself, for recovery, for release, and for openness. And I acknowledge you. And we remember to acknowledge ourselves by taking a deep breath in and sharing the word namaste. Thank you for joining me at Sanctuary Bodyworks, and congratulations on completing the other 5 videos in this series. And if you missed any, click on the Holabird Sports 6-week workout series, the playlist, to complete the others. And stay up to date by following Holabird Sports on Facebook and Instagram. And while you're at it, you can follow me at Yoga with Lindsay and Red Lila Yoga to keep up to date with all the things from me and my team. And if you liked my ensemble too, then click on the link on the screen to see all the pieces on holibirdsports.com. And we hope that you stick with your New Year's resolutions, both physical and mental, and continue your health journey. Namaste.